Red.
Choo choo. I'm sorry, I look like a train conductor, guys. I just bought his hat and then I was like,
Show him the label.
What label?
It's on the back.
The label's still on. Oh, right, let's resume. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Hope you're all doing well.
Hi there, guys.
This is my fiance, if you guys didn't know already. I'm joined today with Justin.
That's me.
So, we have just recently returned from our trip to the UK. We went back home for Christmas. We experienced a lot of culture shocks, didn't we?
Yeah.
It's so weird because we're now having reverse culture shocks.
Yes.
So instead of coming to Singapore and being like, whoa, everything's weird, we're now going back to the UK and being like, whoa, everything's weird.
We've become accustomed to the local ways here.
We have. So we almost don't feel British anymore. It's a really weird thing to go through.
Yeah.
So we've got a long list of reverse culture shocks that we experienced in the UK compared to Singapore. I'm going to share them all with you today. So without further ado, let's go ahead and share our reverse culture shocks.
Let's do this.
Let's go. First one. Everything in the UK seemed so cheap.
First reason is because it's different currency, so the prices are half, effectively.
For something in Singapore that might be around $20, if we'd find it in the UK, with the conversion rate, it'd probably be around £10.
Yeah.
But because of that conversion rate, it just seemed like everything was so much cheaper.
So you look at 10, like, oh, 10.
Yeah, I know.
Things like grocery shopping, everything like that is generally cheaper.
Yeah.
And you go, and we did compare. We went to Boots, which is like a cosmetic shop.
Oh, we were buying
sun cream.
like the Roche-Posay SPF.
Yeah.
And we price checked UK compared to Singapore.
Between Guardian and UK.
It was so much cheaper to buy in the UK, so we ended up stocking up.
Yeah.
So yeah, a lot of things like makeup, that kind of thing, is a lot cheaper in the UK. Hearing your native language and realising how broken your English is now.
Yeah. Yes.
You especially.
Mine's bad, really bad. The way I speak with the guys at work, I seem to have adopted a different way of speaking.
Yeah, we've covered this a few times.
Which I personally don't understand. I don't notice any difference right now.
You don't consciously notice
I don't consciously notice a difference.
Yeah.
But as soon as you go home, you start getting like, what?
Yeah, it's so nice to hear your native language and not having to change the way you speak to be understood. But there was this time that we went through the McDonald's drive-thru and Justin's English was appalling.
Shocking.
Such broken English. Like, the way he ordered it, I was like, there is no way that she's going to know what you just meant.
She got it all.
The thing is, she got it. She got it right. Just little words Justin uses and like his sentences are more broken. Yeah. Wetherspoons is amazing.
So good.
We forget, like, we went into Wetherspoons for like a hot chocolate.
Yeah.
The menu is just, we were like, £4 for a full English breakfast. Like,
anyone that's been to the UK and been to a Wetherspoons will know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
But it's like a
gastropub.
Yeah.
We just couldn't believe how cheap all the food was. I think it's just the fact that in Singapore, things like fish and chips, things like full English breakfast, not only are they hard to get in Singapore, but they're also so expensive because it's seen as like exotic food.
You pay a premium for it.
Whereas in the UK, it was literally like £4 for a full English breakfast, and
plus a beer.
And I nearly lost my mind. Yeah. We noticed that calories are on all the food now. Everything. So on the Wetherspoons menu, everything had the calories on it.
Every restaurant.
Yeah, even in grocery shops, like everything has calories on now.
I think it's an EU law.
By law now.
Yeah.
TV culture is huge,
man.
Especially in winter. Dad, if you're watching this, I know you're watching this. My dad did not stop watching television.
Yeah.
And you forget, because when I lived at home, I was the same. Like, we would just watch TV.
But it gets dark so early, right?
So because
and it's cold and wet outside, so you don't want to go outside.
Yeah.
So you sit in and you watch TV.
Exactly. It's
common. Everyone
it's like, what
TV.
else am I going to do? Like, it's cold and dark outside. I'm going to watch television.
I can't sit down and watch TV for long periods of time.
We were both the same, because usually I would have been the one like watching TV for hours.
I get antsy.
But even after a couple of hours, I was like, all right, that's enough television.
You've seen 8 episodes now.
Yeah. So yeah, TV culture is huge.
Another one we noticed was young people working in places like cafes, restaurants. They just work everywhere, like in the grocery stores.
Yes.
It's young people, like I'm talking 17 years old.
Yeah, which is normal for the UK. So when you're a teenager, you work those kind of jobs. But in Singapore, everyone working those jobs here...
Typically older.
Typically older. I'm talking like 60, 70 years plus.
Yeah. They're old enough to work here?
Obviously, we did the same jobs.
Yeah, we done the same jobs. Another one is when we went to the supermarkets, no plastic bags. If you want a plastic bag, you pay for it, and it's like a bag for life one.
They've banned plastic bags in supermarkets now, and if you want them, you have to buy them. So generally, everyone's encouraged to bring their own reusable shopping bags.
Like the cotton bags, linen bags.
Yeah, to the supermarket, which I think is great.
But when you forget them...
I mean, we already take our own in Singapore anyway. Yeah. But yeah, that was quite good to see. Although still the same issue with the plastic in the supermarkets. Yeah. Everything is still covered in plastic. Not so much in the fruit and veg. Like fruit and veg has usually always been loose. But one step at a time, I guess. Yep. Next point is meal deals everywhere. And oh my God, I was in heaven. Meal deals in Boots, meal deals in Tesco's.
What is a meal deal?
If anyone doesn't know what a meal deal is, it's basically where you get like a sandwich or like a wrap or a salad and a packet of crisps.
And a drink.
And a drink. So it comes as a meal, 3 different things. It's like a big thing in the UK. Yeah.
So typically people would get a meal deal for lunch. At work.
And they're really cheap, usually like, I don't know, £3, £4. So I've missed sandwiches so much. Like you don't really get sandwiches here in Singapore. So like seeing all the different sandwiches and I was in heaven. I had to resist a lot, but meal deals were everywhere.
The cost of public transport. You're talking taxis, buses, trains. There's literally not even a 5-minute taxi from your house to the station with our suitcases.
It was like £6.
That was £6-7. So that's what, $12 to $14 for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Then we had to get the train ticket. That was a 20-minute train ticket.
It's like a 20-minute train ride.
£16. $32.
It really adds up, like especially in London, like, it was really annoying.
But then on top of that, the bad service of public transport.
Yeah, so we were travelling on the 27th of December. We were getting the Eurostar to Bruges. We had to get from my town to King's Cross, which was like 20 minutes. And literally every train was either cancelled or delayed. Like I was just going through it like,
so if you had booked your ticket for that train, the train's cancelled. It's not
Luckily, the one train that we wanted was running on time. Yeah. But everyone was getting really angry at the train station.
What am I supposed to do then?
Yeah. And like they did warn everyone that there was engineering going on, like rail engineering.
But still, just to cancel it, the day before it was all running. So you could have looked online, okay, it's loads of tickets.
Yeah.
The morning you wake up, we're going to cancel 90% of them. None of them are going to run.
It really puts people in a shit
And they don't even run alternative bus routes for that. You just have to get a refund on your ticket, find another way of getting there.
This is very common in the UK. Yeah. So for everyone in Singapore that complains about the train service, you have no idea how good you have it here. Like,
it's nice.
It's great here. There were so many times when I almost slipped out of my mouth was, can you put the aircon on? But what I actually meant was, can we put the heating on? Because,
it's the opposite.
Trust me, it was really, really cold at home. So instead of turning on the aircon, we had to keep turning the heating on, which my mum wasn't very happy about.
It costs money.
It does cost money. Radiators instead of aircon units.
Yeah, another thing, so obviously I drive the work truck in Singapore. So one thing I found was driving in the UK is a bit more confusing. You have to be a lot more alert. A lot of the roads they're very narrow. So you have 2 lanes, one going this way, one going this way. But people can park on the roads. So you have to look ahead to know if you can get round or not. It does happen a little bit in Singapore, but not much. The bulk of the roads
are a lot
in the
older
UK,
as well.
And the bulk of the roads in the UK are like that. So you really have to pay attention. You have to look for bicycles. You have to look for you have to look for motorbikes. There's just a lot more going on. Singapore it's a lot simpler to understand the roads here.
Also, I noticed that a lot of signs in the UK were like faded, like
non-existent.
They were so old. They were so old that they like need to be repainted and stuff. Whereas in Singapore, everything's like pristine and brand new. All the road signs are very clear. And also just having to drive everywhere in general. Yeah. It's not like we could hop on public transport to get where we wanted to go. Like we have to drive.
Yes.
Pretty much everywhere. You can go out, check out my last video if you want to see this. I'll leave it in the iCards. But we basically were in one of the towns that were close to me, and Justin went into a bakery and wanted to pay, and he was like, "Can I pay PayWave?" And they're like, "What?
What?"
And we didn't know what it was called.
Flash Pay?
Flash Pay?
Nets.
And we didn't know what it was called.
I forgot.
In the UK, it turns out it's called contactless payment.
Yeah.
It was so funny. I was like, oh my God, we don't even know how to ask to pay in the UK now.
But then I'd be saying, can do contactless?
Yeah, can do.
Can do? Yeah.
She's like, what? And I was like, just speak properly. Oh my God, this one's for me. Everyone walks fast, and I absolutely love it. We were in the underground, and I was like, oh my God.
It's like a race.
Everyone walks the same pace as me.
Where's the finish line? Like, everyone's having a race.
I am such a fast walker, just naturally, and I guess from working, when I used to work in London, I just like dart through the underground. We just generally walk fast in London, and in Singapore, Someone said to me that Singaporeans walk fast, and I was like, absolutely not. In Singapore, I find that people walk generally really slowly. Yeah. So it was nice for me to like walk at my normal pace and not have someone in front of me like walking really slowly. I was just like, everyone's walking at the same pace. I feel like it's a lot more slow paced here. Even though I've had people tell me they think it's fast paced here, I don't agree at all. I think everyone's just like much more relaxed when they walk. But in London, everyone's crazy. We walk
Everyone puts on trainers.
Where?
To walk to work, and then they'll swap their trainers for work shoes. Yeah. So you'll see them walking in their suits and bright yellow trainers.
I think generally because there's a lot more walking to do in the UK. Like it's a lot longer to get to places, whereas Singapore, like everything's quite close.
You drive over London Bridge, you'll see the business guys in their suits and trainers.
Yeah, yeah.
And then they'll get to the office and put their work shoes on.
True.
A big one for me: no hawker centres.
How did we cope? Yeah, that was weird. Like you couldn't just pop down the road and get chicken rice.
So frustrating.
But yeah, no hawker centres. Mainly just sandwiches. People were just striking up conversations with us, like strangers. Now in Singapore, I would say that in general, Singaporeans are a lot more reserved. Like people don't generally just strike up conversation and be like, hi, how are you? How's your day going? Like it's just not really a thing in Singapore. And I think because of that, it's definitely made me more antisocial as well. So when we go to the UK and people are just like randomly striking up conversations, to be fair, you are a lot better at it than I am. Like you will talk to strangers. I am generally more introverted and like it doesn't really come natural to me just to speak to strangers, but it does to you. Anyway, it was happening a lot. And it was kind of like, whoa, like idle chit chat. But I thought it was really sweet, and like I realised how like friendly most people are in England. Like,
more outgoing, right?
Yeah, everyone was like really friendly and nice, and it actually really put me in a good mood.
Not saying it doesn't exist here, but it's just not as common.
Alcohol is so cheap. I got a bottle of wine for £6.
$12.
Amazing.
Everything typically in the supermarket is very cheap. Even in the bars cheap. Go to Wetherspoons.
So we went into Tesco's and we were just so shocked by the price of fruit and veg, weren't we? There was a cauliflower for 19p.
19p.
19 pence. I couldn't believe it.
Fruit and veg is cheap.
So cheap in comparison to
Singapore.
But
then I guess it's all farmed in.
Yeah,
UK.
In the UK. It's not imported like it is here.
That's why it's all loose.
A packet of strawberries was £2. I filmed an Instagram story of Justin with this Terry's chocolate orange. Terry's chocolate orange was £2. It's like
£1.
£1. It's like our favourite Christmas chocolate. Yeah. And in Singapore, it's like $10.
Yeah.
That was amazing. Everything just seems so much cheaper.
Another thing is the number of cups of tea people drink in England. Tea
drinking culture.
Ooh. You could have one, just finish it, and someone will say, who wants a cup of tea? Do you want to have one?
So I just had one.
Yeah.
Just finished it.
You then like pressured in, like, yeah, go on then.
I know.
You could like 10 a day.
How many do we have? I would say we probably have about 3 cups of tea here at home a day.
Don't know, yeah, maybe, I don't know.
Probably 3 on average.
You have 3 an hour in the UK.
Oh, but yeah.
I think they drink tea instead of water.
Oh yeah.
Leading on to another thing.
Yeah.
Water tastes awful.
It tastes horrible back home. Singapore water is so nice. I was struggling to drink it.
Boiling water.
Oh my god! This is another thing. We are so Singaporean now.
Don't like cold water.
We don't like drinking cold water now, especially in winter. So we were literally boiling our water at home, making it like lukewarm and hot.
Yeah.
Like we like hot water now.
I don't know what's in the UK water. Just is horrible for
No,
me.
I didn't like it either.
And I know there's different. You get hard water, you get soft water, but they both taste awful.
Yeah. So the very last one is the fact that it was getting dark at 4 p.m. in the afternoon. That was really throwing us off.
Difficult to get your head around that one.
It really was. In the UK in summertime, it gets dark around 10 p.m, which I absolutely love. It's my favourite time of year. So your days are so drawn out, you feel like you can do loads of things. But
winter time.
The
sun rose around 8 a.m, but would set around 4 p.m. And it's always so low, so when you're driving, it's there.
Yeah, wasn't it? It was like really in your face, in your eyes all the time. Yeah. It just meant that our days were just so short.
And cold.
And it was really disorientating because we were like, oh my god, the day's over already. Like, what do we do?
But it's only 4 p.m. Typically, you'd still be at work till 6.
Yeah. So that was really disorientating and something that took a while to get used to. So, guys, that is our list of reverse culture shocks. I hope that you found them interesting. I think it'd be really fun if you guys can comment down below and let us know if you relate to any of these culture shocks yourself. or if you lived anywhere else in the world and experienced reverse culture shocks, let us know, because we always like to hear them. Like I mentioned, be sure to subscribe if you want to see more from us. Like this video if you enjoyed it, and we will see you in the next one.
See ya.
Bye guys.